Hi. Sorry I'm a little late. How is everyone? Everybody good? Should we sing a little a cappella? Thank you, Diane Tiara from Noble Soul, for this beautiful, beautiful candle. It smells absolutely luscious. Check out Noble Soul if you want to support a great company. Can everybody hear me okay? Well, a cappella, I've been thinking about if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening. All over this land, I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Ooh. Ooh. Now I have a hammer and I got a bell and I got a song to sing all over this land. It's a hammer of justice, it's a bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Mm-hmm. 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 There you go. Hi. How we doing? Is everybody awake? Yeah? That was a little song just to get us all perky, to get us up and moving. What is going on here? Did I go live with the wrong one? Hold on, what is this? That is not us. Where am I? Very strange. Okay, hold on a second. I got to find myself. There I am. Okay, I had to refresh. Okay, welcome to Patty Pierce. She is our latest fairy and angel. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone here who is sending love and support to the channel. Thank you so much for your memberships. They help keep us open because, gosh darn it, being a woman of a certain age, I do not want to be back out there. I don't want to be eating cat. chow on the streets of LA. Gosh knows I've done that. Um, was not fun to be poor in Los Angeles, paying somebody else's credit cards off, but that's another lifetime. Now, I say we get the party started by lighting this beautiful candle from uh, Diana Tiari. What I like about her candles is that she puts herbs in them and she also puts stones. Like this one has a rose quartz, and I think there's some obsidian also. And verbane, I believe that's verbane. So if you're looking for supporting artists, see, I like to go with smaller artists so that I can support small businesses. You can get her on um, a couple of different places. I think she's Etsy, Noble Souls, wonderful way to support a local artist and candle maker, herbalist. I just tried her bath salts. She has a very nice bath salt that's made with CBD oil, and and that's really cool. Some of you wanted to know about Chuck Dransfield's art. As you know, Chuck has been raising money through the fundraiser. There's an auction. We had a pretty good idea there was going to be an auction for Kamala. It rhymes with Pamela. I'm always struggling with her name, but so let's see, where do I go here? Okay, so let me give you a link to that. I can't believe they're only selling it for $250, considering it's a Chuck Dransfield original. But so far, 15 people have viewed it in the last 24 hours. It will be an historical piece. It will be considered, I believe, an historical art piece. And this is an historical year. She is going to be the first female president we've ever had. Our numbers are great. Our ground game is great. Relax, we're winning. But if you would like to support it, I can give you guys a link and you can start your bidding wars. If you want to purchase it and then, protect it, get it, and then, it'll be like a Picasso someday, or you look at some of the paintings of some of the presidents in the past, that many of those artists, official portrait artists and paintings of famous presidents in the past have gone on in history to be worth quite a bit of money. So if you are someone interested in investing in art, I think this would be a great opportunity. Chuck is quickly becoming a very famous artist. As you know, he's been commissioned to paint for many famous people now, the James Dean estate, Lucille Ball, etc. And so he is definitely earning his stripes as a great artist. And he just put it up. And yeah, so if you would like to bid on this and preserve this, it'd be nice also if you've got children and you want them to inherit your legacy, or grandchildren, that they will be able to have a Chuck Dransfield original of Kamala. All right, more announcements. A horrible way to die, a horrible way to... I don't know why we used to sing such morbid things when I was in camp. Those were camp songs, right? For those of you who would like to be part of our book club, we have a monthly book club. It's about a month to 6 weeks, depending on if I'm traveling. I will be in the United States until late January, and then I'm going on a cruise. If you guys want to join me, I think we're leaving from Miami. in late January through Norwegian Cruise Lines. Yes, it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. And if you want to hang out with us, it should be a lot of fun. I think we're leaving sometime at January 28th or something. Check it out on Expedia.com. It's a 9-day cruise. Yeah, we're going to be on it. My friends and I are going. If you want to join us and hang out for 9 days on the beautiful, if you got to get away from the cold weather, I'm working real hard right now to raise the money for that cruise. So please join me. I'm going to work nonstop. I'm working you know what I do? I work to pay taxes and to go on vacation so that I don't have to take money out of my Roth IRA. I took money out of my Roth IRA this year. I know I took a lot of money. People are like, how do you travel so much? It's like, oh, I took it out of my savings. This time I just want to pay cash. So I'm going to spend the next 6 months or so just saving my money. Well, it won't be 6 months. Late January. What are we in now? We're in October, November, December, January. I've got 3 months to raise money for the trip. So, okay. So our book of the month is going to be The True Nature of Energy, Transforming Anxiety into Tranquility. This is, I like to go fiction, nonfiction, fiction, nonfiction. Next book we read will be a fiction. But this month, we're doing a nonfiction with Diane Wing. She'll be in our studios November 19th at 6:30 p.m. I believe it's November 19th. Let me make sure I've got the date right. I should be right about that. November 19th. Yes, 6:30 p.m. November 19th. She will be at the taco truck, our studios, and we look forward to working with her. The reason I chose this book was because energy is neutral, and it's how we use our energy. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it and how we can direct our energy because we only have a limited amount of time on Earth, and so we want to use our energies in ways where we're going to achieve the most good, right? Speaking of the most good, as we continue on with our announcements, we want to announce that we are again raising money for the Forever Home for Seniors. Forever Home for Seniors, senior dogs. We do raise money for seniors too. But this is for senior dogs, and that's because, as many of you know, unfortunately, a lot of doggies and kitty cats have been abandoned because people are really struggling financially. You don't want to judge people who are having to give up. Seniors will often go into senior living and then they will have to give up their doggies and kitty cats because they don't have the financial wherewithal to take care of them. And it's not because these are bad people, it's that inflation, the price of food, either you eat or the dog eats, right? So it's a very painful decision that a lot of people have to make, that they have to give up their animals. So we don't want to be passing judgment. But if you would like to help, it is a sanctuary. I believe it's somewhere like in Florida or something. I can't remember where, somewhere on the East Coast. And it's a sanctuary where senior dogs can live out their happy days. Old Friends Senior Dog Sanctuary. I would love to volunteer there. I would just be loving on them all day long. I just love senior dogs. But if you'd like to contribute to that, please go ahead. Well, let's get on to the remotes. And if you can like, share, and subscribe, that would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Subscribing and memberships keep me off the streets, and they help me pay Chuck and make this world a happy place where we can skip and frolic and play. So memberships and subscribing and liking, all that good stuff helps me to do all of that. And it helps Chuck so that he doesn't have to be a starving artist. We don't want him to be a starving artist. No, we don't want him to be a starving artist. Yeah, so thank you. The the memberships help me pay him. I just gave him another raise, which is nice. The more memberships I get, the more I get to give him a raise, which makes me feel really good. I like the fact that he just has to focus on doing YouTube, doing his art, and being a naturopathic doctor's assistant. So all of that is stuff that feeds his soul, and we appreciate him. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about the remote views. I had a couple remote views from a couple of months ago where I had a vision that they would begin speaking to women who had been victims of sexual abuse at the hands of Harvey Weinstein, or excuse me, not Weinstein, at the hands of Epstein, and that it would be linked and Epstein's relationship with Donald Trump. Does everybody remember that? I don't know if I remember that. I don't know. That 60 Minutes or other major news networks would begin to cover this. Does anybody remember this, where I had a vision that these women were going to start coming forward? It's not one of the best topics to I don't enjoy this. I don't, these are not fun remotes for me. I don't, you guys send me where you will. That's your job. Your job is to say, Dr. Anderson, go be a fly on the wall. I know. I know. Do you remember this, where I had this vision and then I had to deliver it and then I get sick and I get nauseous and I don't want to be the remote viewer who, can you guys send me somewhere nice next time? You're always sending me to war zones. Yeah. Well, it looks like reputable newspapers, magazines, and TV news is now covering the horrible, awful that Stacey Williams was sexually molested by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And it's further coming out that Donald Trump was basically Epstein's wingman. It's also going to begin to come out that some of the modeling agencies, etc., were engaging in human trafficking, and it's just all but bursting out now. And I just, how could anybody vote for this man? I'm sorry, but how? So, has everybody had a chance to read this article? You guys want to talk about it, or do you guys want to just throw up? Either one works for me. You want to puke? I mean, human beings are animals, right? And we have to remind ourselves that we are animals, and we have an animal instinct in us, right? We want to do, and this is why none of us should have unfettered, freedom to do whatever we like. If you look at somebody like Elon Musk, he wants complete control. Well, the problem with that is that history has shown us that anytime people have complete control, they do really, really bad things, right? So, complete control is not necessarily a good thing, right? Would we agree on that? So, is anybody surprised? Anybody horrified? Anybody want to throw up? Anybody already throwing up? Oh gosh. You know, I do feel he's given up. People said, oh no, he didn't give up. He's going here, he's going there, he's going everywhere. He's not giving up. Well, actually, I think Trump is giving up because he's only going out to get his bills paid. But the truth be told, he's given up. He's still showing up for rallies, but he's showing up 3 hours late. I'm trying to get this to be organized nicely. He's not always showing up at all. He's rambling on. It's as if it's like the kid that wants to show up to class so that they don't get in trouble, but meanwhile, they're just playing with their cell phone or zoning out. In a way, anybody who's seen his crowds, he's given up in a sense. Numbers are great in many states. It looks like a large percentage of Republicans are saying they just can't do it anymore. What is it you can't do anymore? Well, they can't support Trump anymore. And I think that is kind of interesting because when we originally had the whole Trump train, you had this incredible excitement and enthusiasm that was happening. But where has the excitement gone? Where do you think that the excitement has gone? Anybody have any theories about that? Do you think that people are just done? Do you think that he has reached the point where has he sat? I guess my question to you is, has he saturated his market? You're looking at somebody that has to lie to win. And I think that that's also really interesting. Let me see if I can find something here. There's a voting tracker I wanted to show you. The voting tracker is kind of been a bit of a surprise. It's not going the way people had thought in ways that are rather shocking because so many Republicans are bowing out. Either they're not voting. Here's an example, Iowa. It should have been easy for him to take Iowa. Like, it's freaking Iowa. He's losing in Iowa. There's already 317,000 votes in Iowa, and only 39% are Republican in a Republican majority state. With 18%, an increase in unaffiliated. The number of unaffiliated went up because they left the Republican Party. They left the Republican Party, according to statistics coming out of Iowa, because of Donald Trump. He could lose Iowa. This is not a large state, and he's already down to only 39% Republican, and we can't even guarantee that those Republicans are going to be voting for him. So what does this say about the trend? It ain't looking so good. It ain't looking so good, cowboy. Look at those numbers. I think that if I was Donald Trump, I would be very concerned about my ground game. I would be very concerned about the numbers coming out of Iowa. I'm not surprised because I think of people in Iowa as being similar to people in Wisconsin, and they're kind of old-fashioned people. And this crap that's coming out about this guy is just not very presidential. And I think it's not looking good. 317,000 already voted, and they're only at 39%. What does that tell us about Republican enthusiasm in Iowa? With 18%, the numbers are increasing with the number of unaffiliated since this lunatic lost in 2020. He's losing in Iowa, and he's losing by a big margin. Unless something changes, he will lose Iowa. I guess my question to you is, are you surprised? "55% of North Carolina early voters said they're voting for Harris. 57% are women, majority voting for Harris. Is he in trouble in North Carolina? Absolutely. Is he down with Republican voters? Yes. Is she up with Democrats? Yes. Does that mean he's probably lost North Carolina? Yes. So, Iowa's turning blue. Yeah. It used to be blue, then it went red, and now it's going back to being blue. Yeah, I think the numbers out of Iowa are the biggest shocker in this race. Yeah. Do I think that we're going to see the major news outlets interviewing former victims of Trump? Yes. Do I think the story is going to break about him being the wingman of Epstein? Yes. The fact that he was involved in possibly human trafficking, prostitution? Yes. I think that that is the big story, because the reason I say that and the reason I know that is because we remote viewed it. You get the news 3 weeks early here. Um, is because that was what the remote view showed before the story broke. And I was like, oh, I remember when I went in and saw it saying, well, we got ourselves a pickle. Somebody in trouble. Somebody in trouble. Yeah, there's no way, given everything he's done, that that he can get the female vote at this point. He's lost it with suburban women, white women, and Republican women. So we're feeling very good about our numbers. And people don't want to, and middle class, working men also have stopped voting for him. Well, I think it's the insurrection. I think it was the January 6th commission that cost him, to be quite honest with you. All right, the next thing in the news has to do with North Korea. And as we had said in previous remotes, when I had gone into the energy of North Korea, I felt as the North Korean soldiers, like I had been raised to be an incredibly frightened, terrified person. I had not been trained to fight outside of North Korea. I had been trained to be a loyal soldier who made sure that everybody else in North Korea in this concentration camp stayed in the night concentration camp and didn't escape. That was and to not allow anybody to not let anybody out and to not let anybody in. That was my training when I put myself in the shoes of being a North Korean soldier. So, what do I think is going to happen with North Koreans fighting in Ukraine? I think it's a disaster because it has nothing to do with my experience as a North Korean. My job is I'm a professional empath. So my job is I use a technique which is called HCRV, heart-centered remote viewing. It's a different branch of remote viewing where we try to be empathetic to the needs and feelings of other people. We become the other. This is something we talked about a fifth week of HCRV training. We train remote viewers on Friday nights. Friday night at 6 p.m. If you're a member, come check it out. And I felt when I became that person, we did great job, by the way. This week, students really understood that you are supposed to be that person. You are them now. It's not just about empathy. You get to a point where you become one with the other person, right? So I felt like I was frightened of everything. Like I had, to be honest with you, I was highly superstitious. I believed in ghosts and phantoms, and I ran away when I went to Ukraine. It was simply more than I could psychologically handle. I'm not ready or trained or psychologically able to cope with attacking strangers in Ukraine. It simply isn't part of my limited worldview in this cult. My first time out of North Korea, it's not going to work. And so, in answer to the question about North Korea and Ukraine, I think it's a disaster, and I think we're going to see a lot of them surrendering. The next thing on the list had to do with predictions about the 5 stages of the peace proposal. We talked about the fact that we had sent a peace proposal December 20th, or actually it was October 21st, 2023 to the IDF, um, which was my peace proposal. And then we calculated least amount of deaths based on data, but also on remote viewing. And that was documented December 20th, 2023, 3:53 a.m. As you can tell, it was a remote view by the timeline, 3:53 a.m. You can see it went to MAPA, the IDF. This is Benny Gantz. I sent it to the entire IDF war cabinet, but this one's from Benny Gantz. We can see that if they want to decrease the number of people dead and avoid a major World War III, they would have to do these 5 phases. The sixth note has to do with the fact that Russia and Iran want a piece of the Abraham Accords. And I had said that it wouldn't work because both of them want to annihilate the West. And so by funding them, we would only be making the monsters bigger. We would have to dismantle them before and bring in new leadership before we could bring them into the Abraham Accords. But you can see dismantling Iranian leadership was the 5th phase. Number 1 was to get to ceasefire. Number 2 was exchanging of hostages and send Hamas to a host country. Sinwar rejected that. He was offered safe passage to Egypt. He turned it down. And the third is the rebuild, which was the Oasis 1 protocol that we had drawn up. And 4 was that Putin would be isolated. So we will also begin to see the dismantling of Iranian leadership. And we have it dated here just to prove that it did get sent December 20th, 2023. So if you want to see what the future holds, you can go ahead and take a snapshot of this, put it in your back pocket, because this, I can assure you, is how this is going to play out. Any questions about that? Yeah, I think Kamala could very well win by a landslide, because I'm feeling very optimistic because of how repulsed women are to this. They simply can't vote for this guy. The only women that can vote for this guy are women that are living in some kind of a cult, and most women are not in cults. So Joyce Pietras, those of you living in Iowa, maybe you can explain what happened in Iowa. But when you have that many people already voting and that much of a deficit between Republicans and Democrats, it's not boding well for Republicans in Iowa. And so if you are from Iowa, maybe you could explain the numbers. Because I think we'd like to know. Joyce Pietras, the area between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City is Blue Stronghold, but the seniors in my neighborhood are MAGAs. Unfortunately, the seniors are dropping like flies with the Republicans, and I don't. I think it had to do with January 6th. I really do. I think that that was the last straw for people. Pia Swan says, in answer to why Iowa is falling to the Democrats, it's falling. Go back and look at the numbers. Iowa has big agricultural problem without foreign labor. They are a hospital desert as is. Don't really understand that last comment, but um, yeah, it's definitely something that people did not expect, and Republicans are going to have to hurry up. Maybe they'll vote the day of and change the numbers, but right now they're only at 39%, with the majority of unaffiliated in Iowa going for Harris. So if the numbers don't change quickly, Iowa will go to Harris. And I think that that is a snapshot of the rest of the country, because they're really middle of America, aren't they? Yeah. What will happen to North Korean soldiers' families? They're so terrified. When I put myself in the shoes of North Korean soldiers, I feel like there are ghosts and phantoms at night that are going to capture me. I simply don't have the psychological wherewithal to handle it. And I ran terrified, throwing myself at the mercy of the Ukrainians. And in fact, there seem to be a large percentage of them that are fleeing. Well, this was a wonderful opportunity for them to get out of North Korea, wasn't it? So thank you for that. Yeah, I'm blown away by the numbers out of Iowa. I can't believe those numbers. I don't know. I don't. I'm not. Anybody from Iowa can explain it, but it's definitely blowing people's minds. It's blowing my mind. 39%. What happened to the red wave? What happened to the red wall of Iowa? Where'd you go, boys and girls? And unaffiliated is up, and Democrats are up. Hey, what what did Trump say? It's the art of the deal, right? Bye bye Iowa. Yeah, I hear that they're tiny soldiers, malnourished, and it's not. They're terrified. They're being swallowed big giant white monsters. That's how they feel in this foreign land that looks strange to them, with strange, everything is strange, and this is their first time out of North Korea, and they're tiny and they're scared, and they simply don't have the psychological coping skill. I can't handle this. That's how I felt as a North Korean. Joyce Pietris points out that Iowa voted for Obama in 2012, and I think in 2008 and 2012, and so they're simply returning back to what they did before. Very good point, Joyce. Thank you. You had a terrible dream-like experience last night after doing your remote viewing session? Yeah, you want to write your dreams down, because your dreams can be symbolic of a remote state. I'm sorry, Intuitive Kathy. Yeah, sometimes what we see isn't that great. Yeah. Would you guys like to get your personal readings now? Would you guys like to get the collective, excuse me, the collective reading? Are you guys ready for your collective for the week? I don't care what crap they say. When I saw those numbers out of Iowa, and that's middle of America, I knew that their campaign was screwed. You shouldn't have to give people $1 million to vote for Trump. You shouldn't have to lie about cats and dogs and your kid goes to school and comes back a different gender. That's not how gender surgery happens. Nobody is getting a surgery with the nurse at the school and then coming back with a vagina. I mean, come on, how stupid do they think we are? This is stupid. This is stupid. I mean, give me a break. I mean, when you're winning, you don't have to be that stupid. Come on now. All right, the collective reading will also do the empath's prayer. If you or someone you love needs to receive a healing at this time, please go ahead and give us their name or your name, and we can include you or them in our collective prayers along with the empath's prayer. Well, you have these poor, pathetic kids living in their grandma's basement, right? Living on the internet, who think that they're going to be the next Elon Musk. But what they don't understand is that Elon Musk worked 100 hours a day, like a nut job. I mean, he went insane from overwork. His kids say he worked constantly from 4:30 in the morning till midnight. His mind was a storm, right? uh, Most people are not that driven that they can maintain 20-hour work weeks nonstop, and have that clear of a vision of something like PayPal or Tesla or all these other things that he's funded. So, and most don't have degrees in physics and everything else, right? So they're living in a fantasy world that they're going to be the next Elon Musk because they're sitting in their mom's basement reading stuff, and he himself has said, "Are you ready to put in 100 hours a week?" So I just don't think I don't think the people that are buying into that are in touch with reality, right? All right, so collective empath prayer, collective healing, and then collective reading. Let's do it. Please let us know who you are so we can include you in our prayers so that you can receive a perfect healing today. Let's do it. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And for those of us who are asking for healing at this time, may you and your loved ones receive the healing that you need. May you receive a perfect healing, free of pain. May you receive a healing to your heart, your spirit, your mind. And together, collectively, as a community, again, we say, Amen. Amen. All right. So this is your collective reading for the week, everyone. This is a smorgasbord. It's based on the superconsciousness. And if it doesn't speak to you, this message from Spirit to the group, then simply pass it down the table. It could belong to someone else. These are the messages that Spirit wants the people watching to hear for the week. The base matter is there is an angry wind coming. There is an angry wind coming. Expect more bad weather, more colds and flus, viruses and infections. The karma this week is the Knight of Swords. It can be tornadoes. The winds are coming. I know we have storms hitting the United States again. But we do have the storm card. So a storm is coming. What happens when crazy people know they're going to jail? They get more and more desperate. They become more and more frantic. Expect more crazy behavior from Musk, more crazy behavior from Donald Trump. The storm is coming. What do you need to do right now? You need to just ignore it, walk away. If someone's trying to pick a fight with you, you need to get out of the way. If a storm is coming, lock up the house, get your cat, and leave. The storm is coming. Leave everything. Your life is more important than the house. Your life is more important than anything. Get out of the way. Get out of the way of the crazy person. Get out of the way of the storm. But this is a week where people are frantic. They're frantic and desperate because they're losing. They're losing. They're losing in fucking Iowa. I'm sorry about my French, but come on now. You saw the numbers. How are they going to come back from 39%? So they're frantic. They're desperate. They're freaking out. What the hell happened in Iowa? In freaking Iowa. Iowa was a red state. North Carolina, 55% voting for Harris. They're in trouble. And they don't think they can make up these numbers. So you have this frantic kind of, ah! You also have the weather. Ah! The weather is going crazy. Other thing about Knight of Swords is angry wind. And now remember, we see Chinese medicine symbols also in the tarot. Metal, excuse me, the metal element and the air element are found in swords. The metal element in Chinese medicine, because of the sword, and also air, the wind. In Chinese medicine, that's called aggravated qi, right? Aggravated wind qi. Like when you have a headache, oh, I have a wind, headwind, right? It's wind in the head. Like when it's windy and I had a cold, right? That was wind qi disturbance. It's a wind qi disturbance. So we're getting disturbances of the wind, right? COVID, Wei Qi, your ability, your defense system in Chinese medicine. So it comes in the wind, right? Somebody coughs on you, the wind, right? So we're seeing an increase of viruses this week. Colds and flus, angry wind, tornadoes, etc. Tornadoes, yes, we're going to see tornadoes this week. That for sure, because it's our karma card. That's how we know. And so your advice is to get out of the way. Don't be a hero. Billy, don't be a hero. Joyce, don't be a hero. Joel, get out of the way, right? You don't need to stay around. Do not be a hero. When you see the winds coming, don't pick a fight with your crazy MAGA cousin. Just say, you know what? You could be right. Who knows? And just move on. Move on. Where you're at right now, there's a major change coming. Change is gonna come. That's right, people. A change is coming. We have death over the situation. I think those Democratic voters, their numbers are going to start being tick, 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 tick. They're going up. Like what happened? We were even in Iowa last week. What the hell happened? Then they were done. The Republicans were, well, we did what our job. And then tick, 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 tick. The independents and Democrats showed up. So we see a change in the numbers again this week. In the next 4 days, I'm going to predict in the next 4 days, we're going to see a blue wave of more Democrats coming out to vote. And the crossing card is it happens very quickly. So the next something happened in Houston. Something metaphysical happened in Houston. It wasn't just because Beyonce was there looking great, by the way. Don't you wish you could look like that? I mean, it's just so unfair, right? But the point is that there's this energy, right? It feels like Obama all over again, right? And I think we got to get our asses over to Florida, right? Because I think we could take Florida because Obama took Florida, and I think we could take Florida again. So we have this rapid change happening. You, me, and all of us. There's this change happening, and it's happening very quickly. Those of you who are looking for work, who here is looking for work? It's done. We declare collectively as a community that those of you who want jobs will receive the job you want that is worthy of you. You will receive, it's in your fourth house. It's also Archangel Gabriel who brings information like writing. Gabriel is associated with writing and creativity. You receive the gift from the heavens. So money coming in, jobs coming in, and Gabriel is talking in your ear. It's in the fourth house, which means it's also the house of spirit. It's also energy that's coming in. Don't be in a storm. What's all this crazy negativity I've been seeing? Third house is Five of Wands. You're in conflict, but you are growing and you're evolving and becoming educated. What you're coming out of is the Knight of Wands. We've got to keep running. That's the movement. The Knight of Wands is this. The Kindle quit. Okay, that's all right. It's okay if my Kindle quit. The Knight of Wands is this rapid movement. So people are feeling energized. Boy, I wish the people in Florida would be energized. We got to get out the vote in Miami, Dade County, Broward. God, make sure everybody you know is voting. And we're entering into the time of the Knight of Cups. We're being wooed. We're being wooed by this positive energy. I think the signs are there. And now everybody wants to be with the winner. Everybody wants to be with the winner. Everybody, you know that song? Loves the winner. Everybody loves the winner. So we're going into this Knight of Cups. So there's this kind of easing that happens that now we're on the side of the winner and now we're being wooed. King of Wands establishes territory. What you want, you will seek. Hey, Elon Musk is not all bad, right? I mean, the guy backs really good scientists. He has an incredible ability to see where the times are and where the times are headed. And I've done remote viewing where he doesn't go to jail, that Kamala Harris works with him and says, you know what, I am going to control you a little bit because you're a little bit out of control, but I'm going to let you play in your sandbox because you got some good things going on. So I don't see him going to prison. And he has the right to talk to Putin because, from his perspective, he's a businessman and he wants to get his trade out. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The problem is that he isn't honest about it. But he himself is not a politician. He's a businessman that has trade, and he has been harmed by the sanctions because he's not getting the supplies he needs for his rockets. He's within his right to talk to anybody he pleases. So we're not going to arrest him for being frustrated about the fact that he can't get his trade out in China and Russia. But we're going to control him a little bit. King of Wands means you have to control, you have to fight for your territory. A judgment is coming. The hope and the fear that we will be betrayed by our own, and good stars lay ahead for us. We are on the right side of history. Know that you are on the right side of history. Canvas. Hand out sweets to people. I'm not worried at all about Iowa after those numbers. When I saw that 39% and that it was stagnant after, I was like, do, 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 do. I'm going to go get my hair done. No, star is coming in. So we have good stars over. It's going to be a good week for you, but it's going to be crazy. So watch weather, watch about colds and flus, and watch about angry, desperate Trumpers. a celebration of women, the women's parties. Now is the time to get together with women. If you're men, celebrate with your women folk. You might get special treats. But this is a time of the rejoicing of women and the opposition. 10 of Cups, again, wooing, trying to get in. Well, I've always liked women. Sure, you did, honey. Well, I remember what you said last week. Nine of Wands, we don't want to be boxed in, and keep yourself focused. Keep your blood sugar stable too. Some of you, I'm feeling when I go into this, you might have a little bit of blood sugar problems, and you're too sensitive to caffeine to be drinking that much coffee. Got to pull back on your coffee. And I'm getting this jitters, the Seven of Cups. Watch, keep your habits good. This last night I was having a real hard time. I tell you guys everything. I tell you guys everything. You know what? I don't do anything in private I can't admit to in public. So I just tell people everything. So last night I was tempted to go and buy some marijuana because I was having I use marijuana, plant medicine to remote view, but I don't do marijuana anymore. I stopped doing marijuana. I used to do marijuana, but I was having a really hard time remote viewing yesterday because I was keyed up about the race. I was stressed out. I think I had myself drunk too much coffee and I could not get in. I was breaking all the rules. I did not get into the trance phase first. I did not abide. I just wanted to get to Trump, just get to Trump, which is exactly what I teach my students never to do. So I was like, I'm going to go smoke some marijuana. Well, of course, I didn't smoke some marijuana. Instead, I just sat there frustrated eating Doritos. The point is, it's true. I couldn't be bothered. I'm so lazy I couldn't even be bothered to go buy weed. Now that's lazy. So instead, I just ate some snacks, and eventually I was able to do some remote viewing. But it wasn't. But I'm like the rest of you. I get whipped into a frenzy looking at all these statistics. Well, it was originally developed marijuana to remote view. I mean, it goes back to China. They would make blocks of it. They would and then they would burn it in the smokehouses, and then they would trance and they would spy on people, right? So that is what it's used for. So it's not like you're cheating or anything. It's an ancient tradition. So if you need to remote view and you're like, I can't trance, I'm going to take some gummies, or I can't trance, I'm going to smoke some. It's okay. It's not okay though if it's habitual and you can't. So then it's a problem. With me, it was habitual. I needed to stop because I was like, I can't see. I got to go do some. I was remote viewing every night, which means I had to smoke weed every night, right? And I want to be able to remote view without it. I got the munchies because I didn't have dinner. Actually, I did very good. I steamed some asparagus and I made a big salad, and I ate that with a little bit of chicken in the refrigerator. And then I watched something on the computer, and I finished my snacks. I had a little bit of Doritos. I just junked. I was like, oh, I'm going to be so fat. And then I checked, and my weight is not fluctuating, thank God. The point is that watch Seven of Cups. That can be blood sugar dysregulation, thyroid, spaced out. Watch the marijuana. Be like me. It'll be be like me. It'll pass. The urge to smoke weed will pass, and instead you'll go eat junk food instead. All right. That is your reading. I hope it gave you some clarity. It's going to be a good week, but bad weather's coming, winds are coming, viruses are coming, and get out of the way of the desperation of the Republicans because those numbers are changing. The numbers are changing in a big way on the part of the Democrats. We're taking the Midwest, and that is freaking them out. Who here thought we were going to take Iowa? I mean, come on now. So that is a very good omen for us and a very bad omen for them. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a little time now to blitz away just as soon as I get the order. Did y'all notice I got my hair done? I'm not ready to go gray. I went to my hairdresser, and he was like, Brian, so what are we doing? I'm like, I can't go gray. I can't do it. So you want to put a little bit of, yes, get rid of the gray. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So he gave me a little bit of the gray. He took it away. He took the gray away. A little bit of gray is okay, but I'm not ready. My sister's like, oh, it's too expensive. I know it's too expensive, but it makes me happy. Well, it's medicine, but when you're a professional remote viewer and you have to remote view 5 nights a week, like some nights I just don't want to work. And people are like, get back online, Whimsy. You guys are always sending me. And then I was like, I do my meditation and then I go to sleep. And then I've got people go in and find out about Diddy, go in and find out about Beyonce, go in and find out about this person. I'm just like, oh, all right. And then I'll think, well, I'll smoke a little marijuana and I'll remote view for 30 minutes. It makes it much easier to trance. And so for that reason, a lot of people use it. It was the main way that people in the bond technique in China, it's the main herb used for remote viewing, which is what HCRV is based on. It's based on the bond technique. So that's why a lot of you guys use edibles and marijuanas, because a lot of you are remote viewers. And so you're like, I think I'm going to spy on this. Some of you spy on your ex-boyfriends and stuff. I've done that. Who here, well, are you guys going to admit to it? How many of you would admit to the fact that you've been psychically spying on your former relationships? All right, I'm waiting for the blitz, blitz, blitz order. Anything else I need to announce while we're waiting for that? Yeah, that's what it was used for. It's just, no, I mean, it's not real. It can be habitual, but it's not addictive. I mean, if you quit it, you just quit. I mean, I haven't had it for a while, but when I was doing it, it was like I really enjoyed it. Um, so it was time to give it up. Like anything in life, it can be habitual. My habit now is sweets. So I finally got switched to monk fruit. I'm such a good girl. I'm not doing sugar anymore. Oh, I finally got an order to bliss, bliss, bliss away. Um, yeah, I don't do the only sin I'm committing right. My only sin right now is, I don't. Well, marijuana's not really a sin, but my only bad habit, I should say, I'm not exercising enough. That's the only thing I got to work on. Now that's pretty darn good, right? Overeating and not exercising enough. All right, so we're going to go through. Feel free to ask questions. We'll stay a little late today since we got a lot of people here. How many people do we have? We got 400 people, so we'll stay a little late. And just, okay, let's see here. Dorothy Brandt. Watch The Muscle Man, The Heart of Iowa. I grew up 59 to 60. The education was the model for the world. The president took Khrushchev to learn about. Oh, interesting. Musk needs help with his ketamine addiction. Yes, he does. I'm worried about him. There's a part of him which is a beautiful person, and I've gotten criticized for that, but it's really true. He's done some beautiful things, like bringing fresh water to Flint, Michigan. That was he did it out of his own pocket. The reason that they were able to get those things in for fresh water, that was Musk that did that. So we don't want to totally condemn people as evil, but what he's doing, he's doing it because of the trade routes. I've talked with him psychically, right? And I can't go on. My business cannot go on with these damn sanctions with Russia and China. We need to get the damn trade out. I said, oh, what did he say to me in the remote? You can't overthrow every country that you have an ethical problem with, Whimsy. That's what he said to me. No, you have a problem with Russia. They don't have a problem with their government. You've got a problem. You can't just go policing the entire world. because you have a problem with them. So he's thinking like a businessman. I might not approve of everything they do in Russia and China, but I do business with these countries. So that's where he's coming from. But it's really ethically horrible to be paying people, lying, anything, because he's desperate to get his damn trade out with Russia. There are things he simply cannot do if he doesn't get. He can't go on with these sanctions. It's destroying SpaceX. There's certain key metals and things he desperately needs, um, that he just can't get, and so it's screwing his entire business up. That's why we've got to stop the sanctions. Okay, they're assholes, but you can't destroy every country you have a moral and ethical problem with. Why don't we work out the trade routes? We'll work out the issues. Let's have peace. Let's have peace so that I can get my damn trade. I need my metal. I need my metals that can withstand temperatures of 1,000 degrees or more. And I can't, the quality of the metal is not the same. He's been very open about it. Well, what have you learned since the sanctions with Russia? He said, well, we're learning a lot. We're learning how to make rockets without Russia, and it's not easy. And he's extremely angry about it. Is ayahuasca better for trans people? No. Marijuana work is more, it depends on how it resonates with your body. And if it's more has to do with how you process, it can be a depressant. So if you suffer from depression, you might want to watch it. Ayahuasca made me puke. I got sick as a dog on ayahuasca. I felt like I had a horrible flu. And so I don't think I don't want to take a medicine that makes me sick as a dog. So that was me. Kieran occasionally will vape. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal anymore. I mean, it's no longer a felony. They got rid of all of that. They don't, because it's legal. I mean, if we wanted to, we could have an amendment. Nobody cares about marijuana. It's easier to get marijuana than tobacco. I mean, oh, good. Intuitive Kathy convinced her Uber driver to vote yes on reproductive freedom. Great. We got plenty of orders to blitz away. Well, I think the takeaway from all of this is not to screw with women voters. I mean, if you take a look at it's not, well, in the case of Iowa, I think it was January 6th. I think they're genuinely patriotic in Iowa. And I think January 6th was when they went a bridge too far, and that's when Iowa voters said we're out. We can't we can't we can't sign up for this. Oh, you let your hair go, and Dylan let her hair grow. Great, very good. No, I don't want to do it myself because it's permanent, which is harsher on the hair, whereas toner is more gentle. And also, I love giving my income to somebody who is a hairdresser who's doing good work using natural products. He doesn't, and I'd like to, and I also enjoy being able to financially support someone's business, who's been struggling. Everybody's been struggling. So I can't afford to do it every week. I only can afford to do it like every 2 months because it is expensive. All right. First question is coming from Jane. Hi, Jane. She wants to know if John Tester will win in. Where's John Tester? John Tester win in Montana. Will John Tester win in Montana? Smooth waters lay ahead for him. His opposition has strong partnerships. The problem is that the contracts and the lobbying groups went with the other person. However, there's truth coming out. He's a nice guy, and his situation could change, but the partnerships lie with his opposition, which would lead me to think that local businesses went with the opposition. However, there's an expose coming out about the person he's trying to upseat. I know Montana is very red, but you can see the partnerships. There's a Two of Pentacles, which is corruption, and you can see the Knight of Cups. He's being wooed. There's a truth coming out and about the world, and he could win just because if they can draw attention to corruption in the opposition. But he does have a lot of support from um, it, the other guy has a lot of support. It would appear from the other guy. I mean, the other guy is getting funded. Why did it do that? Musk is on ketamine. Yes, he's on ketamine. Hmm. Yes, he's on ketamine. Grab them by the ballot. That's funny. I got the munchies. Yes, I did without smoking marijuana. Too lazy to go buy weed. Yeah, that's pretty damn lazy. I'm not exercising. Oh, good. Broward County voted early. Thank you, Intuitive Kathy. Much appreciated. Oh, you love my scarf? Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna wash that gray right out of my hair. Yeah, I don't like the mousy look. That's why I like to have the cool toner put in. Debbie got her grays early. Thank you, Ann Dillon, for being here. You letting your grays come in? Well, I'll get there eventually. I'm just not ready right now. I'm just not ready. They made fun of us on SNL. Whimsy and her gray hair. Because I talk about it all the time, but that's cool. At least I got to be made fun of on SNL, right? Who can say that they got made fun of on SNL? Not many people. Let me see. All right. Will Kamala get Texas's 40 electoral votes after the recount here? Let's see how she does in Texas. It looks like Republicans are winning in Texas, but that Houston crowd. But remember, Beto O'Rourke had great crowds and he still lost. So let's see how Kamala does in the heart of Texas. Dun 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 dun. Deep in the heart of Texas. Kamala, Texas. How's she going to do in Texas? Kamala in Texas. They are looking at every single vote. Look at that, the hermit card. So they are really, there's the devil in their opposition. There is some bad stuff going on, defending the territory, and then the final outcome for her, she could still win Texas. If everybody in Texas who supports her votes, they could win. Also, there's some, Ted Cruz could lose because there's a serious problem of corruption here and an attempt to steal the election, I believe, in Texas. You can see her here. She is a Libra. I accidentally said she was a Gemini last time. She's an air sign, Queen of Swords, and then scholarship. Look at this, hanging up the devil. They are hanging up the devil in Texas. The hopes and fears, defending the territory, financial support. She gets it, Page of Pentacles, but there's a moon card, so they could be challenging her outside of Texas. But there's a good chance she can still take Texas. Isn't that amazing? Well, how many people can vote for a child rapist and an insurrectionist? Not many. Any advice for boosting the immune system? Vitamin D, And keep your protein up. Vitamin D helps. Elderberry tea is really good for protecting the immune system. Hmm. All right. And Allison Jacobs wants to know if North Korea's experience in Ukraine will actually work to bring down North Korea, because now these people have seen the outside world and it's nothing like they were told, right? So that's leaving them confused as ever. Four of Swords. Their opposition, King of Cups, that would be Biden, hopes and fears, the Empress. And then the final outcome for them is they're trapped in jail. They're frightened, terrified people that think the outside world is a scary, terrible place. Yes, they're collapsing from within North Korea. Biden, Two of Swords. It's just a feeling like this place is a madhouse. The movement is towards the star. It's not sustainable. It's a concentration camp for people. The people there are living in a concentration camp. So it's not sustainable. The best thing we could do is rescue them. At the same time, South Korea would be wary to absorb all these people. How are we going to absorb all these people? They're crazy. So no, stay in North Korea, and we'll give you aid. But we don't know if we want, at this point, given what's happening, we don't know if we can handle absorbing them. You could earn citizenship eventually, but they don't want to have a united Korea overnight. Diddy won't go get bail, flight risk. Let's take a look at Diddy. I felt like there was a possibility of him getting bail. He did not get bail. Let me figure this out here. What is going on with Diddy? Will Diddy get the bail? Will Diddy get bail? Is he a flight risk? Two of Pentacles. Lovers. The guarantees they need for this guy, are crazy. He could still get bail, yeah, because Lovers is, they're making all these guarantees so that he's given bail. His mental health is terrible. Lunacy. Still getting a Four of Cups from the judge, which is no. But the fact that there's a Lover's card means ankle bracelet. This is a guy, they're saying he'll be at home. It'll be an ankle bracelet. No. Seven of Wands, defensive territory, and the final outcome for him, Eight of Cups. Yes, he is going to lose everything, but yes, he could still get released. They'll probably have him on some kind of ankle monitor, but I still see there's a possibility that Diddy could be released temporarily. He's got a lot of money. Why not let him out? I mean, it's not like he can leave if he's got an ankle bracelet on. Okay, we talked about those ones. All right, upcoming earthquake in South California. Isn't there always an earthquake in South California? Let's see if anything in the next year, any major earthquakes in the next year in Southern California. All right, Southern California. The star is over Southern California. The World. Oh, those are quite auspicious. They're getting rid of all of their creepy, awful people. The Knight of Cups. Oh, I just got a hit. The Menendez brothers are probably going to get released. Wow, look at all these major arcanas. It's the time for the victims and a bad time for the perpetrators. Look at this. Evidence and the star. Look at the bad people. Ten of Swords over the World, and Knight of Cups, and moving on, South Carolina. And look at this. Also, Eight of Cups. It's not talking about earthquakes. It's talking about, I'm getting hits about all of the bad people. The pedophiles are getting cleaned out. The rapists, the pedophiles, the LAPD that took money and suppressed evidence that's refusing to release it on famous people. Like now they've got a thing surviving this person, surviving that person. Oh, who's the latest? Who is the famous person that now is being exposed? Oprah Winfrey's being exposed. Ellen DeGeneres and that other actor filmmaker who made Medea. The Medea, surviving that person. Evidently now there's claims that this person was sexually abusive and cruel to people. It's just I mean, I think it goes back to the Bible. Don't have idols, don't worship people as gods. They're not gods. And if you don't want to join a cult of celebrity and then you have your own cult going, well, I have a cult with this person, but they're a nice person. And then you find out that, well, yeah, they're a great comedian and they're producing some really great art, but they've got this other side to them. Like, the comedian, what's his name? TK, what is it? The guy that started showing his junk to women and masturbating in front of women, and people were defending him because he was funny. Well, he's a great comedian, so it's okay. Not understanding that if making you a great comedian doesn't mean that you're not a offender, a sex offender. And this is precisely what we see with sex offenders. They'll often start with showing their private parts. Then they'll try masturbating. And then they eventually evolve to where they're touching their victims. Louis C.K., is that his name? Louis C.K. So he was evolving right along the trajectory of every other sex offender, seeing what he could get away with, first starting with publicly exposing himself and seeing the reaction. He might be the funniest guy in the world, but he's also a sex offender and he belongs in prison. And then he started masturbating in front of people. And then it evolved to him trying to touch people. And what the community, what we all have to learn as a people is that just because somebody's a really funny comedian doesn't mean they don't have this other side of them where they're a classic sex offender. And it was really disgusting to see all of these people that were, once it came out on Louis C.K., they were still going and hearing his comedy and trivializing it. Oh, well, he's just an open free spirit showing his penis, right? No, this is a disease and it progresses in a very specific way. And unfortunately, he has a disease. Woody Allen has a disease. Roman Polanski has a disease. They have diseases. They're sick. They're brilliant artists, but they have a disease. And we need to stop trivializing. Oh, it's no big deal. He's talented, so we'll just tolerate the disease. And, we are our worst enemy when it comes to how we deal with these things. Louis C.K., yeah, classic behavior of a sex offender where it becomes increasingly aggressive and you look at the stuff that's coming out now about Oprah, and that's really depressing because Oprah Winfrey is someone who doesn't necessarily did anything wrong, but she was hanging out with and doing deals with people who had done a lot of things wrong. Like her relationship, the expose that's come out about her long business association with Harvey Weinstein. So now you have the Harvey Weinstein scandal is blowing up with her because this is who she was doing business with. So again, what did she know? Did she just think that he had a reputation? There's no evidence that she helped Harvey Weinstein. There's no evidence that she was in any way involved with him other than as a, in a professional capacity. And I've been working with people in professional capacities where things have come out about them and I've been shocked. And so that's the controversy, right? The controversy is, was she aware, and or was it just a business arrangement and she was living her own life and was really didn't know anything? And that, you could argue that that might be true because their relationship was simply a business arrangement at the boardroom, and that doesn't necessarily mean she was in on some secret investigation. At the same time, it's pretty disturbing, and then the same thing with Diddy, the fact that she was attending all of the Diddy white parties, and the fact that there were live sex performances going on at these parties. And so people think, well, did she stay for the live sex performances or did she leave at a certain time? What, she was there to be seen at the white party, but what did she do after the fact? Did she pose at the white party? If you're going to a party like that, you have to say, well, she didn't know that after 11 o'clock, the topless dancers were going to show up. Evidently, they were women prostitutes were bathing each other in like a Grecian swimming pool or something. How, when did that party get started? And did she stick around for it? You just don't know. You don't, but certainly people are concerned about who knew what, who was involved, what they knew. They might have known absolutely nothing, and it could have been just a business situation. This event, by the way, also his brother was there at the same time, but they cut the brother out. You see, they conveniently cut out the fact that this was a party in Britain and it was a concert and that nothing happened other than the fact that there was a concert. So just because you're there for the concert, I think it was Will's birthday or something. It doesn't mean you're a pedophile or something. So, but it's still disturbing. Tyler Perry, yes. Now there's a documentary out. Thank you, Mark. Mark is a friend of mine who's an amazing publicist, and he's the one that recently just told me about the Tyler Perry on Netflix coming out November 28th. I Survived Tyler Perry. So again, you have to just not pass judgment until we see the evidence, but it's disturbing. It's disturbing. There are photos of her in bed with Diddy, I know, and they're disturbing, and I don't know what it is, if they're doctored, if they're real, but it's Babylon. This is what I was warning you. Just because Tom Cruise is cute or any of these actors you get a crush on, you don't know them. You may think you know them, but you don't know them. So please do not worship celebrity. You can love the film, you can love the style of the acting, but don't think you know them because you don't. I've been enamored with celebrity because I used to work in the community as the doctor, and I saw a lot of stuff that really changed me. Right, so we don't want to be worshiping people, and we always want to be open to the possibility that people are not how they appear. At the same time, I'm not so quick to assume that Oprah Winfrey did anything because I understand that Weinstein was just the producer and that they're sitting there getting an award, and doesn't necessarily mean anything. It doesn't really mean anything. So we'll just see. We'll wait and see what more comes out. All right, I'm gonna go have something to eat. I've got some stuff I've got to ship out for a patient. If you're trying to get in for a tarot reading, remote viewing, or you need to see me as a naturopathic doctor, all that information is available in the description, will be available in the description of this video as soon as I cut and paste and put it there. All right, let's see. Let me cut and paste it. Yes, I'm available at Booksy. Booksy, yes, Booksy. Um, Fastest and easiest way to get a reading with me. I'll be back at work tomorrow. Oh, it is there. I just noticed. Yay. Yes, I've been cut and pasted. Good. All right. Be kind to all. So, yes, Jerry Lewis. I was so disappointed. I used to love Jerry Lewis. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your love and support. Much appreciated. Thank you for your memberships.